Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to OD on Music. Today we're talking about Marshall Mathers, otherwise known as Eminem.
Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need a little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
Today we have two amazing indie artists with us, Rovai or Rohit.
My bros wondering why you don't go all alone as your dreams crash and burn at the flow. Ghost alone or stand alone, don't really care no more, cause I'm in the zone, reading shit right off on my phone. For the ones in the back, yeah, that's how we do it. For the ones in the back, now keep it loud, man. For the ones in the back, yeah, the ones who make the noise.
And Nio Endo.
I'm just living my life, brother, what? Keep talking, brothers talking too much. I'm just living my life, brother, what? I'ma just keep on winning. Hit 6 for 6, sings innings. Sick hits that hits the fact that I can rap. You can barely fap till I end the track. Mind your back, the weight to stack, it's overlap. You can't react like no but gas.
People think rapping is just talking lots of words. No, it's about meter. It's about rhyme. It's about just getting your emotions out in a percussive manner, and it takes skill. Unfortunately, some skill that I don't possess. But hopefully, by the end of this session, we will get a taste of what that skill is. But before that, let's meet these two artists. So, Mr. Rovai, can you tell us who you are and why you are talking about Eminem?
Thank you so much, bro, first of all, for the wonderful introduction. I mean, it's been long since someone's ever introduced me like that, so thanks a lot for that. So, who am I? So, I'm basically this just one simple guy from Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu who moved to Bangalore. And I've always been into hip-hop music ever since, I don't know, man. It's been like, it just naturally happened, you know. I think the first ever exposure that I did have to hip-hop in a slightly different manner would have been because of Linkin Park, where I heard Mike Shinoda listen to rap and stuff. Ever since then, I've been into rap music. I work as a content writer. I'm a copywriter for an ad agency, and that helps me also because sometimes I want to break down a brief. What I would do is I would write it in rap form first, and I would take out like the best lines out of that and use as copy lines. And it's a very interesting art form because there's so much you can do with it if you really put your mind to it.
Whenever I listen to that, I just feel free as hell. So, you know, so Eminem definitely first rapper on most people's playlist in India, and hugely influential all over the world.
Do you remember what was your first Eminem track?
I do. It was Till I Collapse. It was Nio Dogg and Eminem. I mean, that was a sick song.
Rohit, how about you?
Okay, it's funny because you'll never believe where I first heard Eminem, like properly heard him was in Smack That with Akon. That was my first ever exposure. That was my first exposure to Eminem. I was like, wow,
okay,
it looks like another club banger.
They better hang on when they throw this thing on. Get a little drink on, they gon' flip for the sake on. You can bank on it.
I was like, well, who the hell raps like this dude? I'm like, I really need to know who this guy is. And then from there, it just started.
Well, I grew up on MTV VH1, right? So that I remember watching Slim Shady, okay? And then the video was very weird, okay? And the first time I saw the video, like, something's going on here, and I wasn't listening to the music. I was just like, it's there, the background. And then the next time I said, okay, let's listen to it. I like, dun, 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 dun.
I repeat, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? We're gonna have a problem here.
Y'all act like you never seen a white person before.
And then I was like, okay, this is really nice. And it just caught on to me, right? And then the next day I went to school. Then there's this thing about like, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Then I'm like, please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. And it became like one meme thing, like a trend, please stand up, please stand up.
Yeah.
And which brings me interestingly to this whole thing. This is something we do on ODOM, where we share interesting facts and trivia. Okay, and let's see, we usually do this as a PPT as a true or false. Today I have not put in a PPT because I know I'm going to ask you guys just directly about D12. Do you know the story behind D12?
Of course, D12, that's the OG Detroit sound, dude. Like without them, there would be no Eminem, you know. And the guys who are from D12 is Proof and Royce the Fine, and all these guys are absolute legends, dude. The way they cut these words and the way they deliver, you can't touch them. You just can't. I mean, I'm so glad that Eminem came out from the crew like that because it shows how different he was back then and how he evolved his sound to make it a more individualistic thing. But when he's with those guys, it's only fire every time. Dude. There's nothing else that's coming out when all of them are together.
Do you know story behind D12? How he got the name?
Not really, no.
I'm also not aware. No.
So there are two stories. Okay, one is people
Right.
supposed to be the Dirty Dozen, right?
Oh, okay.
So they wanted
It's a
to
movie.
find the 12 of the dirtiest rappers in Detroit. Eminem, Marshall at that time, they were like, okay, dude, let's find 10 other rappers, and we call ourselves a Dirty Dozen. They could find only 4 more, right? So they had 6. Then they realized there are 6 of us, we need 12. So guess what? We're gonna come up with 6 alter egos so that we make it into Dirty Dozen, where we have one ego and another alter ego who does all the dirty stuff. And that led to the formation of Slim Shady. So Slim Shady, the character, came into being because they couldn't find another dirty rapper in Detroit. So it was, and they didn't want to call themselves D6. They can't call them Dirty Half Dozen. So they're like, okay, we are Dirty Dozen. For this, we'll form an alter ego. That's the story between D12, and that's what gave us Slim Shady.
Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just.
Dude, that's sick. That's sick. I never knew that.
Yeah. No, we are obviously talking about Eminem in retrospect. After all these years, after he's made it big on, he's an Oscar award-winning movie.
Woo! The Oscar goes to Eminem, Jeff Bass, and Luis Resta for Lose Yourself from 8 Mile.
I mean, how many rappers do you know have an Oscar award, right? But do you know that he missed the Oscar award? He didn't realize.
Yeah.
Because he was watching his daughter, he was cheerleading his daughters. He didn't even realize.
This all goes to Marshall.
So the thing is this. Now we are talking about Eminem in retrospect, how amazing. But what about the really, really tough times he went through to get there, right? Yeah?
For sure.
So, now both of you are indie artists.
Yeah.
And I know it's really tough right now to be an indie artist. Just being an indie artist is tough. We know, from Original Dog, we know. But being an indie artist who's a hip-hop artist, who's also talking about real-life issues, is really, really tough. Okay? So I want to ask you both about this and talk about the parallels of how tough it is to be a hip-hop artist.
So, like I said, hip hop for me it's like practice, dude. I can't imagine not going a day without writing even one page, even if I don't think it's that good. I just have to write something every day just to make sure that I keep that practice going. It's more than just like music for me. It's a part of my life, to be very honest. It's perfect, dude. I can't imagine life without it, to be honest.
For me, I think the perspective is pretty different because I grew up in a family that was my dad was a musician, so he literally sang me to sleep from the day I was born. So for me, it wasn't about hip hop. It was for me, the order is me. Above me, there's hip hop. Above hip hop, there's music. Above music, there's the world, and then there's humanity. That's the order of things. For me, I'm looking at it from the perspective of humanity, and the higher level of perception that you get, the more understanding you have. And like Rohit said, you have to be observant to be a good artist. If you're not observant, then you're not a good artist. It's that simple. Hip-hop has been glamorized by the whole human element of fame and popularity and all of that now to put yourself out there in the market. But essentially, in its core sense, hip-hop is still about speaking about the truth about society, and it's the only place, art is the only place where you can speak without any repercussions with the legal system, right? So
Exactly.
we speak about it and you can be liberating about it. So it's amazing that way.
Well said.
Now, here's the thing. I personally love the percussive nature of rhyme. Okay. Now, I know this is interesting technically for me, but let's make this technically interesting for other people who are listening to. Now, for all the participants out there, there is a myth or legend that a particular word does not have a rhyme. Now, I want you to put it in chat right now. Oh, wow. Even before I finish the question, people are writing the answers.
That's the famous one.
Yeah.
Just in the enunciation of it. People say that orange doesn't rhyme with anything. And that kind of pisses me off because I can think of a lot of things that rhyme with orange.
What rhymes with orange?
If you enunciate it and you make it more than one syllable, orange, you could say I put my orange 4-inch door hinge in storage and ate porridge with George.
It's no. I'm going to make a word rhyme with it. Not once, not twice.
It doesn't have to exactly rhyme with it. Like, you can give me a word like orange. That shit is strange. I can just take it and rearrange. You can just say whatever you want. You can rhyme it the way you want to. Yeah.
People think, orange does not have a rhyme. And I'm going to put it in the song.
It doesn't have a perfect rhyme technically in English, but rap is about changing your words to rhyme it to something else in any way you can.
By the way,
you can rhyme it.
That song's called Brain Damage.
Then I got up and ran to the janitor's storage booth. Kicked the doors loose and ripped out the foreign screws. Grabbed some sharp objects, brooms, and foreign tools. This is for every time you took my orange juice.
Go check it out. It is fantastic. I want to talk about this, where as he rises up and challenges, he need not necessarily do it. Okay, he has proven time and again that he is on a league of his own. I also think it's also because he has to make himself stand out, because at that time, only other white rapper was Vanilla Ice, and just like his name, he was completely bland and tasteless. And then there was Eminem, and he didn't have to do anything, but he was like, no, I'm going to prove that right on top of my game. And right now, we have some amazing rappers, white and all across.
Yeah, everywhere.
But then he came out and did Rap God.
Yeah.
And then just blew the competition out of the water.
Of course.
He's like, you know what? I have an Oscar award. What I don't have is a Guinness World Record.
What a guy, dude.
Which he broke again on Godzilla this time.
Yeah.
So, when you heard Godzilla and Rap God, can you talk about what you went through?
Of course, when I heard Rap God, I was 20 years old and I was just like, wow, that's it. Is this even possible?
Lyrics coming at you with supersonic speed. Summon, I'm a doom, I'm a you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, and I made a rubber so that anything you say is ricocheting off of me and it'll glue to you and devastating more than ever, demonstrating how to give a motherfucking audience a feeling like it's levitating, never fading, and I know the haters are forever waiting for the day to think of.
That's the kind of reaction he gets from us every single time he puts out something crazy, dude. And it's that level of consistency to maintain it over 20 years now. It's not easy, and every single time he's doing something different, which it's sad because the new generation is not able to appreciate this as much as we do. The fact remains that he's always going to be, the only competition for him is himself. And with Rap God, the way he switches up flow, and he's not just talking random stuff, making meaning with the lines that he's saying at that speed, which is another insane thing, because you can just write random words together and just you say it really fast, but that's not going to make a difference. He's making each of these words rhyme and also have meaning with it every single time he does it, and the meanings are 3 layers deep, 4 layers deep. It's insane. This guy is something else, bro. And honestly, I don't think no one even comes close to him, bro.
I think in terms of rhyme scheme, I think there's nobody that comes close to Eminem. But you gotta understand the fact that music is born out of different kinds of inspirations, and Eminem is conditioned to write that way because he saw the kind of rappers that he saw, people like Rakim and stuff. He conditioned to look at rap that way, so he wrote that way. I still don't have an issue with someone who writes rap in a different way because it's a place that they're coming from. But if you compare lyrical, technical knowledge, rhyme scheme, and the way he's delivering and the cadence with that drum-like machine that he has, there is no one better, and I don't think anyone's going to argue that. But having said this, to come to the point of Rap God, the only reason I feel that he could put out Rap God is because what we keep fighting for is that he did his commercial shit before. He did Ass Like That. He did songs which would be commercially viable that Dre made him do, and that's what gave him the popularity. He did the Drake for his era. He did it.
Yeah.
So he's considered the greatest now because he had the popularity, and now that he's broken the rules, he's learned the rules, he can break them as he wants to.
Fill him with the venom and eliminate him. Other words, I'm intimate him. I don't want to hurt him, but I did him in a fit of rage. I'm murdering again. Nobody will evade him. Finna kill him and dump the fucking bodies in a lake, obliterating everything is generated. Renegade him. Hit him, make anybody who want it with the pin and frame. Don't nobody want it, but they're gonna get it anyway. I'm beginning to feel like I'm.
So that's the part that people really always don't talk about much.
At this point of time, I want to bring up something called vocabulary. Right? Now, a lot of people think that rappers say the same words again and again and again. Right? Which, depending on who you listen to, is understandable.
Gucci gang, 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 Gucci gang.
There was a 2015 report which came out, which talked about the highest vocabulary, most different number of words used by artists in the last 10 years. That was from 2005 to 2015. Guess who topped the list? Our man Eminem with 8,000 different words.
Well,
Okay, and I'm not talking about rappers. He was first, JC was second, fourth was Kanye West, fifth was Bob Dylan, sixth was Black Eyed Peas, eighth was Andrea Bocelli, and 10th was Celine Dion. Half of probably was My Heart Will Go On, My Heart. So yeah, so it was not only rap, it was musicians worldwide, right? And that's another thing, right? He always makes sure that he finds the right words to fit, which gives the words more meaning. Now, he's been so successful that a particular word has entered the dictionary thanks to him. A word that nowadays we use a lot, but it's thanks to an amazing song and a video which is one of my favorites. Oh, okay, again, before I ask the question, flying, come on, Eminem fans in the house.
Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back, just a chat. Truly yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan.
So now, I have this thing where I kept telling people, like the other day I was saying, oh dude, I am standing this guy. And they're like, what's a stan? And they're like, is it a stalker fan? I'm like, that sounds interesting. It's a nice portmanteau, but no, it comes from the Eminem song Stan.
Mother's LP.
Yeah, Mother's LP. And it's about a stalker fan is a really, really good expansion.
What a video. What a video as well, man.
What a hook by this thing.
And the way he painted the picture, I mean, I kind of think that it's born out of something that actually happened to him, you know?
The kind of fans that he has around the world, I mean, they're ready to do anything for them. I mean, we've seen crazy Indian cricket fans over here, but Eminem actually has a crazy band of fans that would actually do anything.
Now, these are all songs which have been recorded. We're talking about his recording history. But what we haven't talked about yet is how he became this good. Is by freestyle rapping.
Yes, sir.
Free-form freestyle rapping. Now, for those who do not know what it is, which I'm pretty sure none of these guys are much, but they're all like super fans, you know. But for those people who are going to be on YouTube, right? Now, can you both tell us what is freestyle rapping, what it's about?
Bitch, you could be a piss creek with paddles. This deep, you're still gonna sink. You're a disgrace. Yeah, they call me rabbit. This is a turtle race. You can't get with me spitting this shit, wickedly licking these shots. The spiggy split licking.
Well, I think freestyle rap is a way that you basically just saying things. So here's the thing, I'll give you the formula. You got to think of a topic, you got to talk about it, and every time you talk about it, you got to end it with the way that it rhymes, you know? You got to freestyle every time, and you got to rhyme. Yo, this shit is whack, no cap. I'm from the Deccan rap. Yo, I'm going to do this like a pod. Yeah, I can rap like a pod every day. I know what I'm eating, and this shit is a lot. Yo, so you can just like, basically you got to rhyme the last word with what you're saying. But it's difficult.
Answer the question in a freestyle rap.
Well, yeah, kind of. But the thing is, once you get conditioned to it, it's just the last word that you need to think about.
Think about.
Think about the last word, the sentence just builds, and it comes with practice. But it's super cool when people can do it and no one can do it like Eminem, of course. He's just like a goat. He's a goat.
Dude, I'm on the original dog. I'm talking about the rap god. I'm connecting so well with my boys like two peas in a pod. So the next time I'm going to go and take a body bag with the bod, and I'm going to talk about the time that I was with my boys and we spoke about the rap god. I'm just going to rhyme that again. Doesn't really matter because we're in the frame. And what we're going to do now is finish this freestyle, and you know that we're going to go take hit lines. I'm talking shit, bro.
Okay, that was not scripted at all.
I'm not going to do nice, dude.
Nice going, boys. Well done. I'm freestyle applauding.
Thanks, bro.
I think as rappers, that's like your favorite pastime. You just pull up anywhere, like even the sound of the gate closing in the lift, you just start freestyling. The car beeping, you start freestyling.
Dude, in my room, in my house, when the drops on the bucket, the tap falls, the water that falls of it on itself, bro. And there's this one video of ASAP Rocky. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I know.
They're sitting with their boys and they're just chilling, and there's a siren that's going on from outside, and this guy just freestyles over the siren.
Freestyles over the siren, yeah.
That's why hip-hop is the best art form, because you can do it out of anywhere. You don't need much at all.
This is fantastic. But here's the thing. Eminem got there by doing this, right? So how does this help you do that? Like, do you, like, for example, you just randomly went out like this. Is that your writing style for a song as well? You just keep freestyling and then you hit something? Do you remember everything that you do? Do you note down? Do you take audio notes? What is your writing procedure? What's your writing style?
The thing is with freestyle is very hard, right? And it's something that you have to pick up only with time. What I like to do is, if I'm working on a song, for example, I only focus on that song for now, but I don't focus on the lyrics. I'm focusing on the fact that I'm writing a song about something if I don't have a topic. And then what I would do is I would randomly, when I'm sitting in my office, I'll be thinking about something and I'll be like, oh shit, this line sounds good, and I'll just write it down on my notes. So like that, I write like around 16, 17 lines. And then once I go back to the beat, I have like a set of 4-5 different lines written in different notes. So now what I can do is I can mix parts of one song with another, and that helps me switch the flow up as well, because they've written it on different beats, the lines that I've written. So what happens is I can mix the styles, I can add a word here, remove a couple of words there, and with that I get a concise kind of an entire bar, like a 16-bar song, with which I can just go and like perform after that. It sounds simple, but it's actually that hard.
I think with just freestyling, I don't really think. It's just whatever my brain throws at me, I just say it. And I just rhyme it. But in terms of writing a song, I'm pretty meticulous about writing it. I write it down like a CEO of a company. I write it down like a business plan. Because for me, it's about the feeling, and I have a clear message that I want to give from the song. So there are different approaches I go. I either think about whether I want this song to be technical, or I want this song to be more where people can understand and groove to it. But the message is always the first thing that I listen to. So I make the beat, I produce my songs as well. So I make the beat from the feeling that I get. And then after I make the beat, I write down lyrics to that song, and then I kind of go about it that way in a very systematic way. Sometimes it happens in half an hour, sometimes it takes 5 days. I like to finish a song if I can right then and right there, because I feel like the story is complete because I'm feeling that at that point. But then at certain times I've left it for like 1-2 months later, I've gotten a fire verse, and it's a very dynamic then. So way more meticulous for me.
I'm glad you brought up production. Eminem produces his own music, right? And also produces others, like Slaughterhouse, Yela Wolf, Kid Cudi. He produces other people's music as well.
Yes.
Right. So when you say production, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, I know what it is when I produce a prog album or an R&B album. I'll be like, okay, can we have these chords? Can we have these layers? So I know what production goes into that. So what type of production will an artist like you or Eminem do with the tracks on a hip-hop album?
For what you're producing, I think the way the production in hip-hop goes, the way production in other music goes is different. You're literally taking a guitar and maybe playing something or recording something. You're actually producing the music. That is one way to go about it in hip-hop, but otherwise we sample a lot of stuff in hip-hop. Because how they used to do it back with the vinyls, they just take it, chop it up, sample it, J Dilla kind of stuff. The MPCs. So in terms of what I do, I always start with my beat, with my drums and my beat. I don't ever start with my melody because I feel that is the basic backbone of the song. Yeah, I make that, and then again, it's based on feel. I'll take out my MIDI keyboard, which I have here, and a bunch of other things. Like I said, I've been playing guitar for 12 years now. So I'll pull out my instruments, and then I'll just start layering things as I feel. So you need to be able to arrange it in a way which makes sense to the song, just not slap the same loop over and over again, which happens so often nowadays in the industry. The same thing playing over and over again.
Unlike Nio, I don't play an instrument, sadly. But of course, that doesn't matter because now it's become easier to produce music even without, if you have a MIDI keyboard, you can do so much more, even if you're not a trained musician. Production for me is it's a fun process, man. I don't like to look at it as a job, because then it's just like, oh, should I have to do this for 2 hours now? Not like that. You just feel it, man. One day you're just like, you know what, I feel like making something today. And you go and you just start messing around with a couple of beats and, a couple of riffs. And then by the time you know it, you already have a small song ready. And that's the best part about producing, I think. In India, the thing is, we talk conversing in English, but it's a land of so many languages. And being able to rap in one or more than one language, or like 2 or 3 languages, is a skill on its own. And I can do it a bit with Tamil, but not the way Nio Endo does it in Hindi and in English. And that's really a big compliment because it's not easy to do what he does. And just so people know that if you ever do rap, you would realize that rapping in 2 languages is not at all easy. And he does it really well.
Thank you. I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
I wanted to bring that up as well. Yeah. Nio Endo, that's amazing stuff. bilingual, multilingual rapping, multilingual artistic rendering itself is a skill of its own. Okay, and to be able to do it in a country like India, which has such a wide spectrum, is just fantastic. Now, having said that, India, especially because of diversity in everything, culture and language, has amazing people who are doing hip hop all this time. I know. Like if I would ask a participant, they can come up with a list of India artists over here, right? So right now I want to ask both of you, like, who are the Indian hip hop artists that you guys admire? If they released even one song.
Okay, so that's a very hard question because you're listening to these artists, they come from different cities, dude. And Gully Gang. Personally from Mumbai, even though a lot of people love Divine and all, my favorite rapper from Mumbai is D Evil because that guy has got like such a killer chill vibe, bro. He's got a chill vibe, and that makes him stand out from the rest. And I love Hindi rap a lot because it's so deep and there's so much that's being told. Also, the guys from Pakistan, the Youngsters, those guys are also insane, man. Like there's so much, and I can't categorize into one good rapper because, like I said, they're all over the place. Like even Nio Endo's, I'm actually a big fan since I heard his music yesterday, and
thank you so much.
Really good. So I cannot say there's one good rapper, but I'm really happy the scene is building the way it is right now. And down south you have our boy Aribu, of course. He was killer. He's always been good, man. And but OG rapper in India who a lot of people wouldn't know is Blase, bro. That he was someone who actually like Blase, Yogi B. Yeah. These two guys, they were just they set the scene.
Nio, how about you?
Dude, that is so sick though. Like imagine like coming out in all sorts of languages and cultures, and they talk about it. It's so amazing. Like it's just I got goosebumps. Like no shit. Like it's just amazing. I think man, I've started like digging more into Indian rappers. There's Hanuman Kind from Bangalore, Kerala. He's so good.
He's awesome.
Yeah. There's Kasi Bloods from Shillong, who's insane. And then Divine's producer Stunner Beats. He's on a more commercial, vibe, but he's elevated the sound of Curry Gang, which is so cool. Actually. And there's this artist from Hyderabad. His name is Asura. He's from a group called Nawab Gang. These guys are super sick. So again, like every city, even Elan, Emmer from Azadi Records, Prabdeep, all these guys.
Yeah, see, that's like I said, you can't name these guys.
You can't. There's just infinite number of artists now. Rap is the new big thing, and everyone's doing it. And you just like someone from like Haryana or like Uttar Pradesh or the Northeast, and you're like, whoa, like what? Like who is this? Like it's
Exactly.
It's crazy, the diversity.
Just to add one more thing, since Indian also has a pretty good, English rap scene. I mean, everyone knows like Brother V and all of that.
Life is an octopus trying to choke you with tentacles. Survived by only those who prove to be sensible. With only two choices, good and the bad. The hardest part is to be choosing a path. Check this, I could have got myself in dealing with drugs or maybe pop.
I think what Brother V did is really important for us because he didn't get like the mainstream to that point, but the thing is, because he did English rap, it opened the gates for us.
Yeah.
And all these people who did English rap, it opened the gates for us. I don't even see myself having an opportunity as big in English as in Hindi. I'm being honest. When I put a Hindi song out and I go and do it in public, it just gets a big reception. It's just, I don't know. It just does. And English doesn't get the same kind of reception, but it has a niche crowd, and that crowd is building. And as that crowd builds, there'll be people in the next generation who have the opportunity. English, and India is a country that speaks English. It's simple.
It's the second largest English speaking country in the world.
Exactly. And and especially I'm from the Northeast originally. Over there, like English, Kasi is written in English. It's the only script in India written in English. They celebrate Bob Dylan's birthday. So sometimes there was a time when someone came and told me, stop trying to be American. I was like, dude, from where I am, we speak English over there and we celebrate Bob Dylan's birthday. That's my culture. So it's a part of Indian culture. That is Indian culture too. I'm from the Northeast and that's just how we are. So I feel like as we grow, people will understand it more and that will also grow, the language barrier.
Very neat segue into Eminem is because our words all have different meter and all our words in different languages have different grammar. English songs, pop songs, are usually written in iambic pentameter. Okay, so that is the meter, the cadence in which we do. One version of that is a Migos flow. It's all in triplet.
Versace.
Yeah, the triplet flow, the Migos. So the triplet flow goes way back all the time. I think Mozart was the first one who made it like full paint.
Yeah.
So it's a very human thing to go triplet flow. But then there's a song called "The Way I Am" by Eminem. It's written in an epicetic tetrameter. Okay, it's in tetrameter. It's literally written in a completely different meter to anything that's there in the commercial world.
I don't know, it's just the way I am. I'm so sick and tired of being admired that I wish that I would just die or get fired and drop from my label.
So that got me thinking, right? Now, the interesting thing about, like, for example, if I were to write lines in Malayalam, and if I were to write the same lines in Tamil, they would not fit in the same meter.
True.
Right?
Very true.
How much of a challenge would it be for you guys to write bilingual in one song? Basically, write a line, translate it, and then sing it again, but it's still in meter. How about a challenge for you guys?
That's quite that can be actually a quite interesting way to write.
It's something which I've always wanted to do.
I don't think that can happen. Can that happen? Like, I mean, it'll change. The meaning will change. The cadence, everything changes.
Exactly. So that's what I just want. Because I've yet to hear a song like that in the commercial. I did try seeing if there's anybody who does that. They do. There are bilingual songs, but it's completely different. Like, there's one line. Like, for example, okay, random, but Enrique Iglesias Bailamos, when the rhythm gets on, Bailamos, but he never explains what Bailamos. Hey, what is Bailamos dance? First you tell me, your name and a dance, but we don't know, right? So, but just imagine if there was something where you are explaining as well as we. So, it's just a thing. So
okay, like
that's pretty trippy.
You can write one line now if you want. Like, for example, if you look in Tamil, you can say "Yanakku prachana irundha unakku enna labam," which is if I have a problem, what is your profit, right? But if I had to rhyme that with another word, like in English,
and then go for some profit and then figure out what's it in Tamil for labam.
No, that's the thing. So "Yanakku prachana irundha unakku enna labam." If I'm in trouble, what is your problem? So you have that labam and problem rhyme that happens over there. But it's very hard.
Yeah. But the cadence will never be the same. It's just the phonetics of the language is different.
Exactly.
It's just the thing. That's the thing. That's the challenge. Like, for example, the whole concept of scat. See, Papa Pade Po. Which is literally scat.
Yeah.
But then even more, all these old jazz, this is when they just say nonsense words to fill in the meter.
Yeah.
Which Ilayaraja and R.T. Burman took it to a different level by just going la 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 la. Okay, fine. It was also scatting only, but more in meter, so it's okay, fine, I'll forgive you. But there's nothing wrong in doing it. It adds to the musicality of the.
I'll tell you a very interesting thing about this. There's this one, I can't remember his name. There's this one guy. He is a Grammy-winning writer, and he said he would rather pick a word which doesn't make sense but phonetically rhymes rather, because that sells more than putting something more meaningful and not having it rhyme the same way. It's not which everyone takes, but he's a Grammy-winning writer. I can't remember his name now, but yeah, that's the approach.
I'll give you an example. Yeah. One of the greatest producers of this generation is Max Martin. Okay, obviously he writes all the greatest hits from Justin Bieber to everything. So there was this cool, she finished school, artist who came to him and said, "I want to write a song." Okay, and she had the tune. Our man Max Martin says, "Okay, I've got the song for you," and he's Swedish. English is not his first language.
Yeah.
So he comes up with this phrase which means call me one more time and then we'll take it forward. Okay, and he writes it. But unfortunately, during the writing process, to fit into meter, he misses one particular word from the phrase. Okay, it's a 3-word phrase, but he writes only 2 words down because he says it doesn't fit in the meter. Anyway, people understand. Unfortunately, what happens is the song became super hit. All of us know the song, right? But the meaning changed from "call me" to kind of like domestic violence. Do you know what song I'm talking about?
I feel like I know this. Bro.
Yeah, this is from the 90s. All of you know the song. The original phrase is in 3 words, which means "call me," and then we'll take it forward. But of the 3 words, he left off the 3rd word, saying, I don't think it's going to make sense anyway. And the artist recorded it also. And that became... So the original...
it says "hit me up."
"Hit me up" is the original phrase. So the original phrase was "hit me up one more time." When Max wrote it down, he said, "Up doesn't make sense, we'll make it baby. Hit me baby one more time."
Hit me baby one more time. Oh baby, baby.
It's
like, because that rhyme, that's got the pockets. So he went for that, but the meaning changed, of course.
Yeah.
Dude,
But did it matter? It was the biggest hit ever, right? Nobody's like, "Oh no, that girl is asking me to hit her." Nobody wants to hit. It makes absolutely no sense. It was all a typo. It's one of the biggest selling songs of all time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it brings us to... Well, we are talking about Eminem. So we have been talking about his amazing stuff. We also have to talk about the dark side of it as well.
Yes, sir.
We can't gloss over that. So let's take the song Kim, for example. Right. Now, it's one of the songs where that escalated quickly, meme fits perfectly. It's just chaos. Murderous chaos. And like the theme is chaotic, the cadence is chaotic. But it's just this track that's haunting and it's there, right? I mean, if you're going to like Eminem for Lose Yourself, and you like Eminem for Stand, then how do you reconcile yourself with Kim, for example?
If you look at Kim, it's a song that goes, it's really has violent overtones. If I would keep it at that theme, yeah. But it's still at the end of the day, it's a form of art, and you don't get to decide what the art form is for you. It's the artist that gets to decide that. You get to decide how you want to, absorb it. And if you're not happy with it, you're not happy with it, you're not happy with it. But I have no problem with him actually writing songs like that. I don't support those lyrics because I cannot relate to that, obviously. I can't imagine talking shit about my girlfriend or my wife in that manner, right? But I only look at in those kind of songs, I only look at the way he's kind of flowed more than anything else. Because I don't want to get into the lyrics because I would not relate to it, and it's not something I would be comfortable talking about as well, considering that we're in an era where you cannot talk like that, But at the same time, I do feel like now I don't think he would get away with a song like that for sure. If he was an up-and-coming, on like for big time. His manager Paul keeps telling him to tone it down, but I guess he is what he is, and that's what made him who he is. So I think he's never going to stop doing that.
Cause I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am?
The issue I have is that when he did it, I'm pretty sure it was never okay to talk like that. But if he did talk like that, you imagine the kind of space that he would have been in. As an artist, you take the feeling of what you went through and you just put it out. I would say you are narcissistic as an artist to at least some extent. You are giving out your side of it, so you kind of favor your side of it a little bit, at least without even knowing it sometimes. But that's what he went through. That's how pissed off he was. And he put it out. That is art. When he could express exactly what he feels, pen it down exactly the same way that he felt it, I think that is art.
Exactly. He's not using, he did use the energy in a positive way in that sense of the word, He didn't actually do it. He just tried to make a song out of it, and it's not as innocuous as actually.
It's therapy. Yeah. It's therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word for it. It's therapy for him, and I guess if that's his form of therapy, we have to accept it,
So what do you guys think about political correctness? Like, as rappers, people just expect you to do expletives, to be activists and talk about things about which might be borderline politically incorrect. But is that a thing that you have to do, or why is that?
Unfortunately, we still have to be wary about the fact that saying certain things at a certain level, once you become at that stage, will send you to jail in India. just the fact. I mean, you can't help it. And you can go with the approach that I'm gonna be a revolutionary, I'm gonna go to jail, and I'm gonna get my ass whooped and stuff. That's not the most practical thing to do, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about all the people you are going to influence. Like, for example, what Eminem had an effect on either of you, you are going to have that effect on people who are listening to you. You are aware of that, right? So taking that into consideration and seeing that we are almost at the end of our session, what would you like to talk to the next generation, the people, the next coming up artists and listeners who are going to listen to your songs?
I've thought about this a lot. As an artist, I am conscious, so I know what I want to put into my music, so that it's the truth only from the experiences that I've had, and people get to learn it. Other people can put whatever they want, like guns and girls and whatever. It's cool. That's the vibe they're coming for. But for me, it's conscious rap, where I'm coming out with a vibe which is only truthful. But more than that, what is more important to me is I want to solidify the fact that music is a universal language and that humanity is one. And it might sound really poetic, but I want two people on different sides of a border to listen to the same song and to know that it's the music that united these people, because that's the universal language. And on top of that, I want people to know that music is an important career. And if I can make it in the city as one of the first rappers of Deccan rap, then I know that the kids who are looking up on me now go like, yeah, okay, there is a viable financial aid available, there is a viable platform available, and we can pick things like sports and music as a career as well, because it is as important as anything else out there. It's as important. That's plain and simple. So it is about empowering the next generation to be able to do this, because right now we can't even do this because we don't have the money, we don't have the platform.
There's a lot of truth in what he said, because like where he's coming from, music is that universal connector. I mean, irrespective of your demographic or however rich you are and all of that, you're still listening to the same song, right? You're listening to the same message that's coming out. And if you're able to connect to that message in any way possible, even if you're the one end of the spectrum or the other, and it inspires you to do something, that's the ultimate motive, I think, of any musician. The fact that you can find a part of yourself in their lyrics or in their music or in the beat that can actually inspire you to do your own thing. There's nothing bigger compliment than that for a musician.
It's also so irritating to a point where it's so underrated. The value of music and the power is so, if our country produces good music, even economically, we're going to be so much more respected, because the art that goes out of a country has a huge influence on how the whole world looks at you.
Yeah.
If you produce really good art and sound from the US, it's like, dude, this guy from Hyderabad or from Bangalore or from Chennai is making this kind of music. They're like, damn, India has talent. They will be interested in what India has. Eventually, other people will be more interested too. The more eyes we have on our country, the more economical prowess and power we have. And even our GDP can go up that way. It's as simple as that. It's so much more than meets the eye, which people just don't get. And it is really hard to explain to them. That's why shout out to Original Dog for powering this shit, honestly, man.
There you go.
For real, man. Like,
ODOM every day.
Yeah, man. I mean, what you guys are doing, like your concept, your ideology, I mean, even the fact that, because you need finances to make a song and to put the song out. And I think without companies like Original Dog, who really give a shit about music, not like just for name's sake, it's the only way that we can bring the scene up for people who actually want to empower the artist and not the popularity and the fame behind the artist. That's what we need.
Exactly.
I think it's a good time for me to bring up one of my favorite quotes of Eminem. He says, "But music is reflection of self. We just explain it and then we get our checks in the mail."
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, I want a few lines from you guys, from your own songs or from wherever you guys, your favorite lines that you wrote.
Okay.
Just let us know, and with that, we'll end this session.
Okay, I'm just gonna spit a small thing that I wrote, which I think is very relevant. हाथों में कलम और लिखता लड़का, गाने को सुन के दुनिया भड़का, गाने में देता मैं सत्य तड़का, अंकल सुन के फिर से भड़का, बोले ये लड़का कौन, लग रहा भंडे फूक के पौंग, इसके बाल क्यों है लॉन्ग, इसके बातें क्यों है रॉन्ग, शब्दों को लेके मैं झूठ को पटका, गाली में दिया तो सबको झटका, मेरी ये जिंदगी शब्द पे लटका, सच में बोलूं आंटी बोले कैसा लग रहा, लड़का भंडे फूक के पौंग, इसके बाल क्यों है बॉन्ग, इसके बातें क्यों है रॉन्ग, एम स्वातंत्रम, मेरे कलम पे भी ताला लग रहा, चुप कैसे हम, मेरे धर्म पे ये काला धब्बा खुशी या गम तुझे शर्म नहीं ये बातें पक्का तू fucking dumb गलत सोच लेके मारा धक्का एम स्वातंत्रम घर में हरा फूको जेल में धक्का चुप कैसे हम बाहर लोग को फूक के सिर पे रख रहा खुशी या गम पैसे ठोको इनके केस पे छक्का फ्रीडम है कम अगर सोचे बिना बोल न सकता मेरी ये कला पे लगा लोगों का सलाह आवाज मत बढ़ा बोले मेरा भला अबे कांट तो हिला मेरे छाती को देश की आजादी का गोली खिला मैं भगत सिंह तू शीप जज करते लोग फिर भी आई स्पीक डोंट गिव अ फक अगर लगता मैं ढीठ मेरे ही कंधों पे लेके इंसाफ को मैं कर दूंगा स्वीप एम स्वातंत्रम
That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's that shit. That's that Nio Endo shit, bro. Is what I'm talking about.
That goosebumps. That Azadi light had me in goosebumps.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Me. Okay. So I was trying to escape, but this is from one of my songs that's going to release soon. So it goes like this. It's the first 4 lines. It's a song about politics, and you figure it out. Okay. So the first 4 lines are in Tamil and then goes in English. எனக்கு பிரச்சனை இருந்தா உனக்கு என்ன லாபம் காசு திமிரு ஆனா கேட்கும் போது மட்டும் பாசம் என் கூட மோதுனா எதிர்கால எல்லாம் நாசம் I'm speaking loud now to the ones in the back cause this is a Rovai attack you'll better stack up or you lag why you wouldn't last if I go ham on the track cause I'm the healing story you couldn't give it me with a full tube of crack trying to play that back cause I just imparted my knowledge of college for the ones who got blown up in the carnage a solid stun on my lyrics and flow was a happy marriage I'm like Rafa tough boy grand slam you like in Paris so many gold bars may stop me at customs cause I'm the dark knight you can call me Chuparastam my mind's prisoners hand the keys uncuff them cause I'm a sent burner big boy here to bless them that reference to a reverend is irrelevant a reverend innocence remain in resonance if life's a caravan I care about the carousel in other words caravans is running us in government incompetent intolerant infringing on the populace indelible your index time to face the consequence show them documents or end your dreams of opulence don't put them on a pedestal because nothing is in confidence so that's the song.
Sick rhyme schemes man sick rhyme schemes
That was a triplet in the middle. I'm like, what?
Machine gun.
Yeah, machine gun only. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rovai and Nio Endo. That is amazing. If you haven't heard these gentlemen here, which I think is not possible, but go out, support the music scene, support your scene, support the people. Thank you, Original Dog, for doing this. This has been an amazing session. I have learned so much. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor speaking to both of you.
Likewise, bro.
Thank you so much, man. And big shout out to you, man, Berty, because I think as an interviewer, it's really important to ask the right questions. You asked me. It was such an amazing interview. I mean, such an amazing talk.
Such a fun
I loved
time.
it.
You know the time passed.
Yeah.
We form interview.
Fun time.
Yeah.
The real original dog.
Original Dog.
Woof.
We have to do some free form interview about Original Dog. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Spending your Sunday evening with us. So thank you for all the participants who are here. Thank you so much. We will be back. It's going to be every week. Next week we will have another artist. Have more independent artists. So join us. So good evening, good night, and see you all later. This is ODOM. My name is Berty Ashley. Thank you all. Stay safe. Bye.
Peace out. Yeah.
Hi, I am Berty Ashley and I'm stuck inside this box and they won't let me out until you share, like and subscribe to this channel. If you like what you saw in today's episode, come and join OD on Music. Lots more good music coming your way.